Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is next level technicals. So I will be taking a brief presentation on bridging, that the software implementation of bridging. As we all know, this is an ideal network setup where you have your router, the switch, and the host connected. This time, in this case, I'm using the VPCs. So, and in the absence of no switch, in the case where you don't have switch and you need to connect one or two hosts or devices together, so you need a software implementation where you have only just router. Or in the case where maybe you have exhausted the number of ports on your switch and you need to connect some extra hosts, so in that case you need software implementation of bridging. And so I just included this. This is a Mikrotik router, and these are the hosts that are connected. While this is a Cisco router and the host connected. So the main focus is on the software implementation of bridging in Cisco. It is a lot easier in Mikrotik because of the graphic user interface, the GUI in Mikrotik. It is easy to just implement, but I'll just show briefly the Mikrotik and then go into Cisco on how to bridge hosts together, which is the main focus. However, this I'm not going to work. I'll just put it here to show you how an ideal network is supposed to look like. So in order for me to access this Mikrotik, I'm going to add a cloud. I can actually use what do we call it? A CLI to do the configuration. But for easy presentation, I will use a cloud because without the cloud, I can't access the Mikrotik Winboss. I can't access the Mikrotik Winboss. So, which is this particular stuff that will connect to Mikrotik Winboss. So basically, let me just quickly just use the CLI to name it. So I will enter with the default login. There's no configuration inside. You just enter no password. It will give me an option to view the license agreement, yes or no. So I don't have the time to go through, but if you have the time, you can go through it. So I simply say no. And the new OS ask you to in the new OS it will ask you to change your password. So I just include my password for lab purpose. I'm using just a simple password. For your production environment, make sure you use a strong password. So let me just quickly give it a name, system ID, set set name is equals to the name I gave to it was M6 dash one. So let's go using the GUI presented by Mikrotik. It's going to be a brief video. Let me check for neighbor. So here is the device and the identity I just set M6 admin, and I input my password, and then I will log in. So basically, I have two VPCs connected that are acting as a host to this Mikrotik device. It's just simple. Normally, these are the physical interface. I'm using router OS version 6. These are the physical interface. The bridge, which is going to be the software implementation or the logical interface, I'll just create it. You understand? And then I will add the ports E1 and E2. E1 and E2. I will apply. So basically, I will just talk briefly on this. Okay, let me just apply first. Apply, and then the second port is a tattoo on the same on the bridge that I just created. So why adding bridges? Ensure that this hardware offload is ticked or checked The essence of this is that the CPU count, system resources, the CPU count will not be affected because unlike the special, unlike um, OSPF, the routing protocols that are going to be checked by the CPU. And some special packet like IPsec and all that are going to be checked by by the CPU. This hardware offload will, will not bother the CPU, meaning that any traffic that comes in through this place will simply just go through this place without bothering the CPU for any decision or whatsoever. So always check if it is or it is checked, and there should be a routing flag. Let me see if I should see any here. Okay. But on the physical device, you see a routing flag showing hardware offload. Um, Let me see. But just ensure that this is enabled. So with this alone, even without assigning IP address on the bridge, even without assigning IP address on the bridge, because basically bridge. Okay, let me just quickly assign and I will explain that to you briefly. So let me just assign an IP 192.168.10.1 with subnet and mask 255.255.255.0. Let me do the same thing. Second VPC, PC2, IP 192.168.10.2, 255.255.255.0. So since the bridge has been, since there's a software implementation of the bridge, I can simply just ping 192.168.10.2 and it will reply because they are on the same bridge. I can also ping, remember this is the IP assigned here, dot 10. Also ping 192.168.10.1 and it will also reply. So if you want to use that bridge to do some other extra configuration, I can actually go to the Win bus and then assign an IP address on the bridge. And and this particular interface are called bridge ports, or you call them slave ports. The bridge port is the bridge itself now becomes the interface, the master port, while these are the slave ports or the bridge port. If you come to the interface, you will see the routing flag here showing running and slave. And which other thing, meaning that you cannot, for example, DHCP or hotspot, you cannot use any of these. It is the master port that will be accepted. So that is that for that. And what do I mean by software implementation of bridge? Now, in back then, let me see if I should have anything like bridge here. If I should have a bridge here, I only have a hub here anyway. But let me just use this for example as a bridge. You have something like this in the network, and then I'm just using this as an example. It's not a bridge. I don't have the bridge device here. So I will just connect to VPCs and then join these two together. That is all. So what is actually this is a physical connection. I'm just using this as an example. I don't have a symbol of let me see. I think I should have that. Okay, good. I have it. So this is a bridge. Now you have two ops. Now what is a bridge? Bridge were used to create smaller collision domains. You understand? Bridge is OSI layer 2 device. They were basically used to to join two segments of different or similar technologies. So that is what bridges are. And the bridges were used to create smaller collision domain. So this is just what I was trying to illustrate using my wing boss. So I actually don't need this. Um, so that is that. That is the physical representation of bridge back then. But with the event of switch, what is switch? So today's switches are known as multi-port bridges packed with some intelligence. So that is what we now use in today's world. So, however, like I earlier explained, in a situation where you don't have, you have exhausted the number of ports, and you have some extra ports on the layer three device, which is a router, you can simply bridge those extra port and connect your host to it. Or if you don't have a switch on emergency case, in this case, you have to do a software implementation of bridge, unlike this, which is the physical representation. Software using in Mikrotik using GUI by creating bridge and adding port to it, and in Cisco, which is the main focus. It is simple here because of the GUI or graphic user interface application, but in Cisco, you have to follow some command. So I've shown you how to do that of Mikrotik. Let's go to Cisco. So I will log in into this Cisco router. These are the VPCs of the former device, which is this PC3, PC4 is what I'll be working with Cisco routers. So for the Cisco, which is actually not just a few commands, not like a straightforward thing like Mikrotik, I will go to first and foremost, I have to define the bridge group number. To define the bridge, you can actually, there's no harm in using the question mark to check the sub information, BRO. So the bridge group number, I'll give you the command after this, the bridge group number, and then the protocol that has to be defined. I'm using IEE 802.1D, which is a spanning tree protocol. That is what I'm going to use. I still define the bridge group number one, and priority. I have to define the priority of that bridge. I'll give you the default value of 6535. Apply. And I'll bridge IROB because I want to be using this particular bridge to route IP packets. Let me see. And I'll go again to bridge group number, bridge IRO, and I'll go to route. I'm using this for IP. That is all. Then in addition to that, I will create a virtual interface. The bridge group number, okay, first I will apply that bridge group number on this interface. I'll say interface range e e- ethernet 1/0 to 1/1 interface interface 1/0 to 1 and the bridge group number I used was 1. I'll stop there. That is all. Since I've already defined it in the global mode, I will exit. Even if I assign an IP now, it will not go until I create a logical interface corresponding to that bridge which I just created before it will start replying. Now let me assign an IP. It will not go. It will not reply. IP 192.168.20.1 255.255.255.0. The second is going to be IP 192.168.20.2, 255.255.255.0. It will not reply, but let me just give send a ping text to the 168.20.2. The tree will not reply until I create a logical interface, and that logical interface is done in global mode with command interface BVI, and the group number I used earlier on for that bridge was 1. That is all. I can actually assign an IP address here. Now, I did not check something for you. Now, if I go to say, let me say, do show IP interface brief. Okay, I know what is happening. Do show IP interface bridge. You will see that interface BVI just created. Earlier on, when I didn't check interface, I would have showed you. This wouldn't have showed up. So it is down because the physical interface were not or short, were not enabled. So let me go back and enable it. Interface range this. I'll say no short. Exit. Do show IP interface brief. Excluding down. So now those interface are up and the BVI is up. I should be able now to ping, even though I can actually assign IP on this interface to do other routing, just as in the case of Mikrotik on top of the bridge. Let me reissue this IP ICMP test. You can see now it is replying. I'll do the same thing here. Oh, instead of sending a ping test, I'm assigning IP again. So let me do a ping test. Ping 192.168.20.1. It is also replying. Itself is 2, so 1 is the other. So you can actually bridge more interface as the case might need or warrant. So I can actually assign IP. If I should send an ICMP test to any of those interfaces, it will not reply. Let me say ping 17192.168.20.1, because I've not assigned to do ping 192.168.20.1. Yes, because I've not assigned IP address on the interface. So interface BVI1 and the IP address 192.168.20.3.255.255.255.0. It's unfortunate you have to spell the MAC address in decimal, unlike Mikrotik where you will write it out in IP address and the prefix length. So I will assign this exit, and then let me do that do ping again. Yes, there was a response time. There's response time. I'm having 4% last loss. Why? Of because of the spanning tree protocol that has to check if there's a loop on the bridge that I created. So let me check for 20.2 reply, also reply time. So I can actually verify by saying do show. If you don't, I'm doing do at the front because I'm in a global mode. Let me exit. Um, Let me exit because I'm in a global mode. So I can, without that do, I can just say ping. I can just say show bridge verbose. It will show me the bridge that I've configured. And these are the bridge. These are the interface on the bridge. And then I can also do. uh, show spanning tree. Let me see if you have some new option. Show spanning tree, and this is the bridge that I created, and then the interfaces are two. The bridge itself actually is the one showing, and it is in the forwarding mode. And the spanning tree I use is it's in the state is in forwarding mode. Let me check. Um, the bridge group is one. So that is just the basic. Let me see. Uh, okay, that is all. So that comes to the end. This is just the way you can verify. So that comes to the end of today's presentation on bridging on Cisco iOS. However, I will be coming with more and more uh, uh, presentation afterward. More interesting one will come up afterward. So do stay tuned to my channel as I'll be dropping videos every week on routing and switches. Thank you for joining me, and please do not forget to subscribe, share, and like my video. Thank you.